Hi folks, this is CNB. Thanks for joining us on a brand new show. We've got lots to take you through this week, so I'm going to jump right into it. First up, it's a new variant on the Indica Vista family. It's an interesting one as well. This is the D90 that I've been speaking about with some of you online. Here is our review.
The promise of a better Indica was always something many of us have held dear every time Tata has promised us a new version of the car. True, in this case we're talking about the Indica Vista, but then with it we get even more demanding. And after all the trials and tribulations, Tata has come closer to delivering us a good, ample indigenous hatch. The Vista's D90 spec is all about bringing us Fiat's famed 1.3 multijet 90 PS or 88 bhp avatar, but unlike the Punto 90, this one is cheaper. What the D90 also does is offer us a more refined car overall, so along with the extra power, you get improved interiors and a better ride.
You got to give credit to Tata for trying to do something a little bit different with its cars. You saw a bit of a brand reinvention of the Manza family. Now you're seeing a flagship for the Vista range, and so credit to them for that. But this particular car that's with me right now is the top end on the D90, which is the ZX Plus. What you are seeing here though is a few, there are a few add-ons. There's a bit of an exaggerated bumper at the rear. There is more than an exaggerated spoiler. It's almost a little absurd. A big huge spoiler at the back. Side skirt here, and then in the front too, you've got a very exaggerated sporty add-on to the bumper. None of that is part of standard equipment or D90 spec. That's just a body kit that you can get at any Tata dealer and put onto any Vista variant. So don't go by any of that. What you do get on the ZX Plus is this contrast roof, which is again like the Manza, so the infinity panoramic roof, whatever you want to call it. On the VX, that's only available on the red, so you don't get that on any other color. It's all body colored as far as the VX is concerned, barring the spice red. So good to see a little bit of excitement perhaps from Tata. Is it enough to get a lot of individual buyers to start opting for what's always been seen as a fleet vehicle in India? Well, the main proof of the pudding is underneath the hood. So let's get in and drive the car now.
Alright, so let me tell you all about how the engine feels. The Indica Vista isn't a light car, and so while the engine makes the car a lot zippier and more fun than the existing Quadrajet as Tata calls it, it's not as sporty as the Punto or even the Swift frankly, even though the Swift has the lower 75 bhp spec, but then the Swift's much lighter. What is remarkably improved is the car's suspension and its overall ride quality. Tata engineers have reworked damper settings and the car feels more solid, more precise, and definitely not as soft as the regular Vista. At lower revs, the car's turbo lag will be a bit annoying, but out on the highway, or on a track for that matter, it's a stable and sure-footed fast drive. The car's cabin is quieter than before, with vibrations and noise levels being cut down overall. The engine is the familiar 1.3-litre Quadrajet with the new specs, and Tata says it's added a variable geometry turbocharger to the mix. A 6-speed gearbox though may have worked a little bit better with this unit.
The focus was to make the car a little bit more individual and so more attractive to that individual buyer, which is why you have a few high-end features that have been thrown in. The music system is now a touch screen interface. It also gives you GPS navigation. That's pretty cool and certainly something that a lot of people will appreciate. The other thing which has been added now is the Blue 5 feature, which is essentially the idea that you can pair 5 Bluetooth phones now onto this machine, and so people in the car can use their own phones on that Bluetooth system. Climate control is now also standard on the D90, which is again a nice feature to have, so something that sets it apart from the regular base versions. And you also have steering mounted controls, something that was missing here. A lot of this reminds you of the kind of equipment we've seen coming in on the Manza as well.
There are two variants, as I said. The VX is priced at 5,99,000 rupees, while the ZX Plus is all bells and whistles and costs 82 grand more. And then there is this yellow number we simply had to show you.
Now, you know how in the European market you have a lot of hot hatches, which are basically souped up versions of existing cars. things like the Cross Polo, the Cross Golf from VW, for instance. So giving that car a little bit of an extra SUV characteristic, perhaps. Well, that's what Tata has tried to do. You can see there's a spare wheel mounted on the rear door here. The overall height of this vehicle has been increased. It's got a raised suspension, 16-inch alloy wheels, finished off in this really nice bright canary yellow, and in the front you get to see a few other styling elements, a sportier bumper, air scoops, and overall the idea of doing this version is not just to do a design study or not just to put it out here as a display unit. The D90 Extreme badging tells you that there's a little bit more to it. So what they've done is essentially created this car which has this bit of a crossover appeal to it, and it will be coming to the market as a variant, says Tata Motors, perhaps sometimes in this particular calendar year. So something to look forward to. And yes, it does get a bit of a booster shot in terms of power. It goes from 90 to 105 PS. So how about that new D90 Extreme? Well, you got to react to it because it's going to be sooner than later that Tata finally brings that in. We can't wait for that to come to the market. And overall, the Vista seems to have moved up, isn't it? Become a little bit more premium. So react to the car in general as well. I'll wait for your feedback. Now, every 2 years here in Delhi,